Blunt warning from the New South Wales Premier tonight. Keep away from Melburnians. It came as Victoria recorded another 17 COVID cases. Brett McLeod with the details.
This was more than the usual Sydney-Melbourne rivalry.
You should not be travelling to Melbourne at this time because of the rate of community transmission.
And Melburnians heading north for holidays will be considerably less welcome than a cruise ship in Sydney Harbour.
I call on all organisations not to interact with citizens from Melbourne at this stage.
I'm not interested in having a debate with Premier Berejiklian through the media. I've had a number of conversations with her over the last few days. We're working very closely together.
17 new coronavirus cases were confirmed in Victoria today, 1 in hotel quarantine, 2 were linked to the Keilor Downs outbreaks, 3 from routine testing and 11 currently being investigated. A worker at Coles Distribution Centre in Truganina has tested positive. The Health Department says the risk of transmission is very low and the site has been cleaned. Brunswick East Primary School and Keilor Views Primary, both in Melbourne's virus hotspots, will close for 3 days after students were positive. So why is Victoria doing worse than the other states?
There are a number, but it's a small number of people who have tested positive and have then gone and pretended that they didn't test positive. It only takes 1 or 2 people to do something like that, and all of a sudden you've got many cases.
In a bid to reduce the high number involving hotel quarantine staff, more nurses will be used. And as police return to handing out penalties, calls to the hotline have ramped up.
Yesterday we were up to nearly 400 calls when we were running at about 80, and of those, police will prioritise particularly the hotspot areas.
The Premier says the actions being taken now won't be reflected in the figures for at least another 2 weeks. And he's left open the possibility of more strict lockdowns in particular suburbs.
If I get advice that those sorts of steps, a stay-at-home order, for instance, again, in parts of Melbourne, will be effective in driving these case numbers down, I'll look at that very, very carefully.
Brett McLeod, 9 News.